Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't do roll call. Kind of forgot about this. Roll call.
Freeholder Bergen.
Here.
Freeholder Estrada.
Present.
Freeholder Jallo.
Here.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella. Freeholder Sullivan.
Here.
Freeholder Wright.
Here.
Vice Chairman Hudet. And Chairman Carter.
Here.
Freeholder, we have 7 freeholders present.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to tonight's budget hearing. This is the first of 2 regularly scheduled budget hearings. The second one will be held on April 4th at 5 p.m. The purpose of these hearings is to continue our review of the introduced 2013 budget and to begin the process of crafting a final document for passage later this spring. For those who are not familiar with the format of our budget hearings, please understand that this is a hearing between the Fiscal Committee and the county's departments. There is no public comment at these hearings. The public hearing on the 2013 Union County budget is scheduled for April 4, 2013 at 6:30 p.m. Tonight we will hear from the following departments who will make presentations to the committee: the Office of the Prosecutor, the Office of the County Clerk, the Department of Corrections, Reynolds, Specialized Hospital, and the Department of Human Services. All right, and we are very pleased to have Prosecutor Romanko and First Assistant Sonatas here. So, Prosecutor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, our purpose this evening is to discuss the proposed budget for 2013. But before I do that, I see on the board we have the 2012 modified budget, which, as you can see, in the case of salary and wages in my office, was $19,111,591. Operating expenses $745,750. The office during the course of this past year operated with a number of employees who actually fewer employees than the prior year. What we try to do in most cases when an employee leaves, either through resignation or retirement, we try to continue our best to operate on a temporary basis with fewer employees, trying to save some money without in any way jeopardizing the safety of the public and our particular mission. We've been doing this over the course of many years that I've been prosecutor, and we've been fairly successful at it. I think if you look back on our record, you'll see that our particular office, although the budget is close to $20 million, we've saved a considerable amount of money by working and doubling up in many cases with the employees. That has taken its toll in certain circumstances, but we have pursued that. Notwithstanding the fact that there were fewer employees over the course of last year, I think we agreed at some point in time, after some negotiations with the Freeholder Board, that we would have at least 5 fewer employees. I think if you add up the amount of money that was saved in addition to those 5 employees, it was considerable. It well reached $1 million, I believe. During the course of the last year, I'm very proud to say that the prosecutors that have, assistant prosecutors who work in my office, were highly successful in court. It's not our purpose to prosecute everyone that who is charged with a crime. We do seek justice, and we do it many times. Try to do what is necessary to make sure that people are not necessarily put in jail and end up with criminal records. One of the guideposts for our office has been the mental health court. We have the only mental health court in the state of New Jersey. It's not called that technically. The administrative office of the courts, they don't like that name. They don't like boutique courts, even though we do have some boutique courts, such as the drug court, which also, I might add, has been expanded this year. But what we've done with the mental health court, when an individual is arrested and there's a history, and we try to find out whether there is a history of mental illness. Approximately anywhere from 16 to 23% of all people who are in jail have mental illnesses, not counting addiction. But in Union County, when we search out these people who are mentally ill, we work alongside of the defense attorneys. We work alongside of Trinitas Hospital to develop a program, and then we bring in Bridgeway, a nonprofit. Once a program is determined on how to handle and treat this particular person who is charged generally In most cases with a nonviolent crime, that particular person is provided with necessary medication, assistance of a home, work, and we bail them out early. I have not had a formal study done in this county of the amount of money that we save, but it's considerable when you take into account that we attempt to have these people released on bail when we know that they're not a danger to the public nor themselves. We've been very successful in this. Also, consequently, the follow-through is when these people go to a mental health court once a month in the afternoon. They're followed up by a judge, by our office, by defense attorneys, and we've been very successful in that they've been diverted from the criminal justice system, not going to state prison. I might also add we had a study conducted by a psychologist, statistician, Dr. Gill in the College of Medicine and Dentistry in 2011, and for 5 years it was determined while this program existed that the recidivism rate of those who were involved in this dropped down dramatically compared to national levels, which can reach sometimes as high as 90%. Our level is well in the low 20 percentile range. So we've been very successful with that. We've worked hard. Matter of fact, this Monday we're having Union County, I'm proud to say, is having a training program for police officers throughout the state on autism, how to handle autistic children who tend to wander, who have those types of issues with water. It's a major thing. You've been reading in the paper this past week, 1 out of 50 children are autistic in the country. I'll let you in on something that I didn't know, most people don't know this. The rate in New Jersey was 1 out of 49 as of 2008. 2008, 1 out of 49 children were autistic. I checked deeper into that. Out of the 14 different states that were targets of that study, New Jersey was one of them. They targeted one county. One county was Union County. And in Union County, the rate is 1 out of 49 as of 2008. I'm convinced that it's probably much higher than that, either through as a result of more children suffering from autism or the statistics being increased because of more awareness and more indicia. But the bottom line is that Union County has a serious problem. The training that we're about to have next week, we're having 100 police departments. We're sponsoring this through forfeiture monies obtained through criminals, drug dealers. They're actually paying for this seminar. We're bringing in an international expert Monday, and we have over 300 people registered, 100 police departments throughout the state who will go back and know how to handle these autistic children. So we've been working on that particular program. We were very successful this past year. Thank you for the work in the DNA lab. Pay no attention to critics who say that the DNA lab is anything but an incredible addition to Union County. We have the only DNA lab in the state except for the state police. It's been highly successful in solving numerous crimes within our county, and you deserve credit for that. And the fact of the matter is we're now negotiating with other counties to bring in the prosecutor's offices within our DNA laboratory at their cost, so that we can take a portion of their services and use them in Union County, so we can even expand it even more. In the past year, Carlton Franklin, a murderer, was convicted, was found delinquent, I should say, but he was convicted of murder in a murder of a woman in Westfield that was 36 years old. It was cracked because of our DNA lab. We're working on others. We've opened our files up to the DNA. Unlike other counties that can't do that, we're doing it in Union County. We've cut down major crime, gangs in Union County. We have a serious problem, well over 2,000 gangsters in this county. The unit that we have working on this took down MS-13 last year, a major group. If you've noticed, the murder rate in Plainfield has dropped precipitously as a result of this. They are now being prosecuted on the federal level. Our office works very closely with a U.S. Attorney, Paul Fishman. The Attorney General, Jeff Chiesa, has been to our county. He visited us. We were one of the first counties. He brought me down to Trenton and asked about our county and what we were doing. And he was pleased with what we're doing. One of the things that we are going to do, I'll talk about in a moment, is human trafficking. But we've continued to help municipalities over the past year with our intelligence. We do all the investigations for child abuse, all of them, up through age 18. And that's considerable. 85% of those 500 cases we look into are sexually abused children. And we're doing all of that. The local police sometimes assist us. We do all the homicides excluding Elizabeth. And we have been doing it for years. We have our task force. We work closely with the municipality. We do all the drug interdiction of mid-level and upper-level drug dealers in this county. The police can't do it. We have to do it. So we spend a considerable amount of time doing that. We've been very successful. Last week we took down some major drug dealers who were dealing in high-volume heroin. We've taken down, recently we've taken down some individual who was involved in a major car theft ring out of Union County and out of the port. So we're a very active police department also. We're doing that, and we're still shorthanded. We're still looking for qualified people. In the course of next year, we are requesting our budget to be increased to $19,575,670. That's an increase of, in overall budget, in salary, it's an increase of $454,000. We're requesting a total increase of $480,329, which represents a $10,000 increase in overtime and a $16,250 increase in other expenses. In 2013, we're very proud to say that our Child Advocacy Center, as you know, and as you funded primarily, has already received national acclaim. It's the auditors who were there selected it as one of the 2 finest child advocacy centers in the country. It recently received a national award, and I believe some representatives of the county were there to receive that award. We're going to continue with our anti-gang initiatives. We're ratcheting up our mental health unit. We're trying to develop this particular type of unit in other counties. We work with municipalities, and we're continuing to expand that program with video extraction of homicides, robberies. Cameras are important in law enforcement. We're working closely with the ACLU to make sure that people's rights are protected, so that when an individual calls the police department and there's a problem with an IA, there's an investigation that's properly conducted. So we're working with them. We're working with SWAT. Our SWAT has continued to be one of the finest in this country. Certainly, I believe it's one of the, if not finest, the finest in the state. These men and women who work on the USERV are highly trained. They spend a considerable amount of time through the cooperation of the local chiefs. And we're also involved with the initiative of Chairperson Carter on gun buyback. She's been working through the Attorney General's office. My office has said that it would cooperate, as has the sheriff, as has the county police. We anticipate that that will be conducted with the promoter of the Attorney General sometime this summer. He's indicated that he has a considerable amount of money to provide in this gun buyback. I think it'll be effective. We've done it 3 times that I can recall in the past 9 years in Union County. This will be the biggest one we have. Also, I serve on a human trafficking task force statewide. I've taught it for a long time and I've been involved with it. The Attorney General is very active in human trafficking. We anticipate there will be a large influx of human trafficked women come the Super Bowl next year. So we're working on that. Union County will be a target of these individuals. They'll be attempting to bring in these primarily women, but in some cases children. So we're working on that. In between all of that, we handle 5,000 to 7,000 cases, which we prosecute on a regular basis in our office. So I think we're to this date we're doing well. The only thing I'll point out to you, and I have other things to discuss maybe at a finance, there is a group of people in my office who have not received a raise in 5 years. And One of them happened to be a lady who brought in $2 million in grant money. That's another thing we do, $2 million. I'm asking you, I'm imploring you, please look at that closely.
That's one of the bargaining.
It's one of the bargaining.
But that, they're in negotiation, we're in negotiation.
I'm hoping that that will resolve itself soon, because I feel terrible that these people cannot, after 5 years, not have a raise and not have any medical coverage. So, with that, that's my report.
Thank you. And I'm going to open it up to the freeholders for questions. Freeholders, John?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I go. Could you give me, let's say, a starting point of 2012, how many employees we have on the payroll versus how many at the end of the year for 2012?
I can't give you the beginning and the end. I can tell you we're at about 231. I believe that that's the figure, not counting, I think the lab is in addition to that. So I think we might, there might be about 20 more, but I don't have that exact figure. And that's a moving target, I might add, too.
No, I understand, but in the same token that it is a moving target, what we see is that we've had numerous retirements that have been replaced by individuals taking a lesser amount of money.
Yes.
And that specific money, I would say, I would expect that it would be utilized for the purpose of absorbing some of these increases that we're looking at. We're looking at about almost $500 million increases. I do know, for example, that the Child Advocacy Center would be an increase because those positions were not always there, and the mere fact that the facility is larger and it required is now properly manned to handle the volume, that would, in turn would be some of the money that would be spent in terms of 2013.
There were no increases in that.
No increases on people
No,
there.
there were people that were moved from the existing to the current.
So are you contemplating additional people for 2013? Is that what the 454 is?
Oh, if I could, I'm well below what I was 2 years ago. I can give you the exact figures, but yeah, I'm below it. I'm easily below 5 from last year, plus 5 more that have retired during the course of the year. I'm down 10 people right now, and I'm interviewing the detectives. They're my primary focus at this point in time.
So we're down that many people, but we're still, in terms of the expenses for next year, it's going to be even higher.
Sure, it would be higher if I were to receive this budget. Yeah, that's where I'm going to use the 400,000 plus for salaries if I receive it.
Director Jeff?
If I can just offer some clarity to the members of the board. Last year during the budget cycle, in order to help avoid further layoffs, the prosecutor's office was willing to not fund several of its vacancies in the budget. So they held a whole host of vacancies to the tune of approximately $940,000 open for 2012. So the budget last year it reflects a reduction of the $940. Some of those positions are now funded in the 2013 budget, so that's why it shows a $500,000 increase. But even that $500,000 reflects the Office of the Prosecutor's willingness to hold another $500,000 open for the 2013 budget year.
Well, based on the information you provided, and that's not visible there, so that's why I'm questioning that. Because I expect it to be in the decline, as we've asked everyone to tighten up their balance and to look for ways to reduce our overall expenditure so that we can keep some control over our taxes. So I thank you for the clarification. Hopefully in the future ones of this presentation, we'll have some ideas in terms of we need to state 2012 numbers, because there has been the same types of actions in other places. We would really appreciate it. Okay.
I'll leave that up to the treasurer's office. Exact figures. I agree.
Real? Anyone? So, Ted, just an observer. So the increase in 454 is to fund increased salaries and some of the positions that were not.
That they held open in
It's only to
2012.
fill.
It's only
Not the increase.
No,
you're negotiating.
No, it is
Not
to
mine.
fill positions that were not filled last
Yes.
year, and that accounts for the 400.
Yes,
does.
to fund it. The positions were held on the books, but we did not fund them with the consent of the prosecutor.
How many positions?
Seven.
Seven. And those are where?
They were,
Detectives or
detectives, senior officers within the
yeah,
department.
they were high salary vacancies.
Not to open up a bowl of wax, but I'm going to explain something. There's been this concern about VSIG, and I think you were alluding to that.
Not specifically, but
Yeah, I think you were, and I'll point out what we've done to hold on to the attorneys, and I can give you, right now, I can give you 15 reasons why. I'm not going to go wait for you to spend your time on it, but reasons why the assistant prosecutors' salary should be increased, not the least of which is they're the most highly skilled in the state. They're the only ones in the state in my office that has the highest number of certified criminal trial attorneys, which is a long process. But the bottom line is, when an assistant prosecutor, let's say, retires or resigns for whatever reason at $100,000, and the starting salary is $52,000, we have historically been granted the $48,000 breakage, which we call BSIG, and it's been spread out to the assistant prosecutors to bring up their salaries so that we can keep them, because the training process in this takes 4 to 5 years before they can get into the major cases, homicide, violent people, and you can't do that by paying an attorney $52,000 to 65 or 70. You can't do it. It doesn't work. They're the most highly professional, next to your medical examiner and maybe the lab director, the most highly professional in this county, and they're receiving lower wages than the detectives that work for them, which is, to me, not correct. Their responsibilities are immense. So we try to do that, and the board, through the county manager, has accepted this, to do this, and we continue to do it. If I didn't, we'd have people leaving, incredible numbers. I mean, I know it. They're devoted. These people are highly committed to what they do, but committed doesn't buy them bread and coffee and food and pay their rent. So we're trying to do the best we can without asking for more money. We're using what has been within the pot and just spreading it out. So you'll see that BSIG doesn't ask for more money. We're just spreading it out amongst the other assistant prosecutors.
But I was to say that. No, go ahead. No, you go first.
No, because the issue is, I didn't bring up BSIG because I know how it works. First of all, let me be very clear about the fact is of your staff that I know for a fact of their quality, their commitment to Union County, and their commitment to the residents of this county. I'm just thinking from the point of view that we are plus 454. BSIG, now that you brought it up, has I see it as a negative effect in terms long term, because that year, yes, you have satisfied that individual for that amount, but the following year, we absorbed that difference that was utilized.
It's the same. It's just the salary from someone moved to another person.
But everybody got increases the following year, because traditionally when their contracts are there.
If the person who was there, who was receiving $100,000, received an increase, there's no difference in that than taking that money and shifting it to someone else who will receive that similar increase, which only totals the difference, which is $48,000. There is no increase. It's the same. There is no increase.
The only point I was going to make in terms of the APs is they are unionized.
Yeah.
And but I'm saying their salaries are based on their bargaining.
They have no bargaining position, with all due respect. They have no arbitration. They can't go binding arbitration. So
all I'm saying is they're a unionized group that bargains as a county.
They are.
And reach agreement on those salaries based on the collective bargaining process. That's all I'm saying. I know you're a strong advocate for them, and I'm not saying. I'm just saying at the end of the day, they make a decision in terms of an agreement, like every other union, and that's how they're salaried.
No, there's a difference. The big difference is they have no choice. Eventually, they have no choice because they have no way to bind the county as the detectives do, as the clericals do, as every other employee who's unionized. They have no authority. I can fire them there at will. Not that I would fire them because of that, but the bottom line is they have no bargaining power. They have good faith, and that's what it is. So I understand what you're saying. That, yeah, it is a unionized system, but it doesn't quite work the same for them.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Mr. Prosecutor, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.